Hello, everybody. Joe DeLore here from Metalog Man Cave, and it's a Joe and Bro Fire Pit show. We're sitting here in my brother's backyard, and what you're looking at there is a live fire, which is going to get roaring probably pretty soon. Right now, we got nobody watching. Oh, 3 people. All right, cool. We're good. All right, we got some peeps. And they are all on YouTube. Guys, how is it on YouTube? We're looking for an audio check. I want to make sure it all works. You know what I mean? So anybody who's out there in the audience, let us know how it sounds. We're joined by Roscoe, the bane of all squirrels and really anything living in the
Beavers
backyard.
And possums.
That's a bad spot for the beer.
It's not open.
Oh, all right. Basically, hey, Tim, how's it sound, Tim? Is the sound okay? That's the big question starting off here. Just want to make sure. Say something so they can test your voice too.
Oh, something.
That's
my voice.
How does it sound? You can hear? All right, that's good. That's a good deal. So we started out tonight with a new tradition here. I'm going to show you. I got to turn my phone camera on so you can see this. I bought my brother a Gandalf pipe for his birthday. So I'm like, shit, I want one of them too. So we got these Gandalf pipes here. These long, I don't know what the Chamberlains, I think they're called.
Are we allowed to say the company?
They're called Shire Pipes.
Shirepipes.com. They got them all.
Yeah.
Gimli's.
They're not paying us for anything like that. So we got these pipes we're puffing away here. RPG Plunder to eat your heart out. You know you want one of these.
Just tobacco.
I got another bowl full of something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got tobacco for now, you know. But David Mills is in the house. All right. I can hear. I know what you meant, Tim. So we're going to be puffing and puffing. Start to get into this a little bit. It's kind of nice, and I got some cherry tobacco. I like the smell of that. It's not as good as the what's the Shire one? Something bottom. What is it called?
Long bottom leaf.
Long bottom leaf. Yeah, it's not as good as long bottom leaf. I'm sure.
Especially the 1692.
The 1692.
1492. I should say.
That's when Columbus sailed the ocean blue, right?
Something like that.
Mm-hmm. Pipe smoke is weird because you got to puff. Talk, you got to puff a little, keep it going.
A lot of work.
There is a lot of work going on. I like the aesthetic, but it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, you get a whole setup. You need the bag of tobacco. You need the pipe. You need the tamper. You need the lighter.
Yeah.
And I felt like an idiot. The first time I used it was up at our friend's house in Vermont, and I stood there lighting, and I never put 2 and 2 together. Like you have to puff.
Down.
You have to puff
Mm-hmm.
so the flame comes down into the tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
You know, took me a few seconds.
Can't see the bowl, I guess. It doesn't light up that well, but so we got a little burn going here. My thing was I'm used to smoking something else in a glass bowl, and there I want to keep it light. I don't want to tamp it down or pack it, you know. So here you got to really tamp it down and pack it nice so it keeps it burning. So that's a whole different story, you know. And I'm drinking Domenico rum. That's pretty good. That's my favorite rum, I gotta say. Pretty damn good. So, what are we going to talk about? D&D shit, I'm sure. Sorry, you saw that big video that went kind of viral. A couple thousand views so far, I think, too.
Yeah.
The Ben Milton one.
Oh yeah.
The funny thing about it was his boys thought that the comment section was fucking hilarious. You know, because they're used to seeing people shit talking in posts and social media and stuff. And probably even in nerd circles, you know, because they follow DC and Marvel and the comics and sports and shit talking there. And they're used to a certain type of shit talking. I don't think they're used to this level of nerd shit talking. They just kept laughing about it, making fun of what people were saying. Well, I've been playing since 1962 or whatever.
As a first edition player from 1990, and it's like they're just throwing around the weight of their D&D peen.
Yeah.
As it gives them this certain set of clout.
Yeah. They got such a kick out of that because they're not used to the whole freaking full-on nerd, and they weren't used to me being involved in that, right? You know, that wasn't a thing they were actually, that used to at all. So it was kind of interesting to see the reaction. I didn't think they'd get such a big kick out of it.
I was getting live updates. I was doing something else on my computer.
Yeah.
And one of my sons, my own, kept running down, saying, Joey's getting owned in the chat. And I'm like, whatever, man. Like, I stopped reading after a while.
Owned in the chat.
Or Joey's getting shit on in the chat.
Yeah. Nice little fire. Yeah, that'll get bigger, the 5K. Yeah, halfling women are so popular. Puff. What's up, guys? So we got Mark's genre mixer here. You know what I could do? I'm going to try to move this closer to the fire here, so I'm going to see a little jostling and movement, guys.
I should have started the fire earlier. It's kind of
low for now, but trying to move this a little bit closer to the fire so that I could read your comments a little bit easier, you know? It's not the most stable of ground, so if anything falls, well, we'll fix it. Yeah, so here we go. I think that'll work. A little bit closer to fire anyway. Everybody can read the text better. Thank you, Test. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's going good. He does a good fire, you know?
Pyro.
Yeah, he does a good grill, too. I can't grill for shit. I tried once, and I burnt everything. Just completely burnt everything. So, yeah, it didn't work.
Well, you like everything well done anyway. So.
Yeah, not that well done, though. It was charcoal, you know? So, yeah, that was not good. All right, so we got Test. We got David Mills in the house. Ben Sucks, yes. Mark Stommer mixer, the K5K, and Gothridge Manor. Tim. All right, cool. So you can hear us okay? No problems on the audio, guys? Let us know if it's going good. I just got to make sure I aim my face at the thing. That's what he said. Yeah, so yeah.
All right, Michael Scott.
All right, what?
All right, Michael Scott.
Yeah. And Roscoe, of course, is here looking for something to kill, wagging his tail with anxiously.
Well, unfortunately, everything in the yard is extinct other than him.
Yeah, he really is. He's an epic killer.
He was like an invasive species in his own yard.
What has he killed so far, species-wise? What is he?
Literally the day of the last ShireCon.
Yeah.
So September of 2024, like 11 months ago. That wasn't his last call. I'm sorry. I saw him kill a squirrel a few months ago, but that's like, you know, squirrels are pretty easy for him. But like, he killed a possum, a couple possums. I got a frantic call from my kids as I was driving up to ShireCon that he killed something. They couldn't identify it. It was a shit show. Yeah. I don't know. Before that, I think that might have been the beaver.
The beaver,
which is like literally 40 pounds.
Yeah. He took it out without a scratch too.
Yeah.
It's kind of impressive to take a beaver out without one scratch.
Well, he's only like 45 pounns. So.
Yeah. He's not a big dog.
I brought him to get a rabies shot the next day, and so what did he get this time? Because they know him. Mm-hmm. It was a beaver, and she actually didn't believe me. Yeah. She's like, he doesn't have a scratch. He's just a little savage. He's not a big guy, but he's got a lot of balls.
Yeah. Does he have balls? You chop him?
Well, no, he's got no literal balls.
Oh,
just
right,
figurative balls.
I was gonna say, I thought you chopped them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had to keep a little wind going. It's a pain in the ass, you know.
Good for the fire, though.
Yeah. But the comment section, I thought their amusement at the comment section amused the shit out of me. I was chuckling last night, you know. That was pretty funny.
I think the thing they liked the most was, I guess, when the dust settled, and you and that guy, you know, I think you threw out an olive branch. Hey, I'll buy you a beer sometime.
He emailed me separately. They, you know, command it. I said, you know. I'm telling you, I wouldn't have gotten so hostile if you didn't get, you know, jump on me. I got to jump. You push me, I punch you. That, you know what I mean? That's kind of it. But, you know, we ended up like, yeah, you know what? Hey, no problem. Sure, your wife's a lovely lady, and I'll ever see you to kind of buy you a beer.
I have a different theory. Some guy disagreed with you early on, but it was early in the day.
Why are you covering your face?
The smoke's in my eyes. It was early in the day, and you had no alcohol or no weed in you. So you're like, hey, thanks for your comment. You know, you disagreed. Later on in the day, we were at the bar, which is Thursday night?
Yeah.
And someone commented, and you had I guarantee you pregame before you went to the bar, too.
Well, just before I went.
Yeah, but so you commented, and you lashed back at it. It was a very similar comment to the guy before, but I guess it was the alcohol you kind of started shitting back on him.
You got beer balls, you're saying?
I would say it's beer balls because it's still internet war. But, but at the same time, it was like I could tell the difference between sober Joe. And then like 15 comments in, this guy disagreed, and you start talking about his wife.
Well, the other thing though is that this is the weird thing about YouTube is that when something drops, the only thing the algorithm has to look at to see if it's popular or going to be popular, in order to say, hey, this is popular, let's push it more, says the algorithm, is the comments, the likes, right? That's why all the YouTubers are always saying, please like and subscribe early and make a comment. They say that first thing because YouTube says, oh, hey, that's popular. I know I try when a video like that pops, I try to respond to every single comment right away, because if they're saying one, I'm saying one, instantly the comment section doubles. You know what I mean? I figure they will add mine into there. I don't know if they use like my comments. I think there's look at engagement. I don't think they discount myers.
Right.
So they're looking for engagement here, you know. Hey, would want to kill everything around me too. We chop my balls off. Yeah. Nobody wins in a comment section piss fight. It can be fun to stand on the soapbox and take on all comers sometimes. Yeah, exactly. The K5K. I was just having a little fun, you know. And I wasn't serious. I could give a fuck. You know. Hey everyone, what's going on, Dan? What's going on, man? Raptor 7. He is here from Raptor 7 is my one guy from Rumble who always joins the live stream.
Oh,
You
no
know.
shit.
K5K says we're all good on the AV fun. Al Eds, he says driving home, he's listening, he's gonna grab a smoke, like suggested in a bit. I don't know what you're smoking. Yeah. So we got a good crowd here. We got us on YouTube, 2 on Rumble, 1 on X. All right. The X thing is a little weird though because you don't know if they're actually staying to watch. It just has a cumulative who has seen it so far. You know what I mean? So yeah. But you know, it was just a fun time. I dropped a few videos. You know, the thing is, I decided that a lot of the videos I've been doing would be like me in process making this or thinking about that, you know. And so I just said, you know, I think it's better for a Patreon because all I'm doing then, if I do that, is like appeal to the people who are already there liking me.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't like me already, they're not going to subscribe to my channel just for that, right? I do a broad variety. I want to do a broad variety of content, you know. So I figured I'd set up this Patreon. I launched it right now. It's I think patreon.com/lawyer. If anyone wants to subscribe, I put an intro video in there because I just fucked with it a little bit this week. But later on, like tomorrow, I'm off, right? So I'm gonna fuck with it tomorrow. I'm gonna add some content, things that I'm working on. You know, upload some PDFs and some videos and talk about it. So I figured that's a little bit. It's more the spot to do it. You know, it makes more sense.
It does make sense.
Yeah, it makes more sense that way, I think. So that'll be a Patreon thing. I'll still do some, you know, but more of the broad, not the nitty gritty, right? I'm not going to do each chapter of the DM guy on YouTube anymore. You got like 50 videos on that. The further ones will be over there on Patreon.
You could also tease it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Throw out a couple shorts, excerpts from your Patreon.
Yeah.
Or just throw out your Patreon like 2 months after you release it live. You know, throw it onto YouTube after you put it on Patreon.
Certain things, I think that makes sense for you, you know. You finally opened up your Patreon. Yeah, I did, Tim. Yeah, I had it for myself because I'm backing you and others forever. So I figured, what the hell? I believe it's patreon.com/lawyer. I got one subscription level, $5. I think you could be a free member. You don't see anything, and $5, you'll share, comments and videos and things like that. So anybody wants to subscribe, there's nothing up there now other than a basic bitch intro video. And I had to figure out how the hell to do that because I had to link a YouTube video that was private and unlisted or something. So that's up right now. And I got the Substack because I wanted to do like an old blog thing. I kind of missed that from back in the day. You know, there's something about writing, especially when you read. I've noticed. Like we've been doing this summer reading club with the boys, you know, and I take notes and I underline it. And it feels good. It feels like I retain it more. You know, like, are you doing that? Are you writing down notes or highlighting?
I've done it on all the books that. Yeah, actually, what are we on? Third.
Yeah.
Third,
yeah,
which technically should be done by now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got on all of them to one degree or another.
Yeah, it helps, I think.
100%. That's why you do it in school when you're studying.
Yeah. Highlight or underline the thing in the book, and then I'll write notes down. And I was like, I got a lot here. I'm going to do a video on it too, maybe a little bit of video, but I'm Christ. Wow. The other bowl is hitting me here, guys.
No, the one that you picked?
Yeah. No, the other bowl.
Manufacturing consent?
No. Oh. I mean the ones I dropped on my Substack.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's up there. 3 Hearts and 3 Lions is up there already. A review of that. There is an asshole with a motorcycle driving by loud.
By every night, and I keep hoping he crashes.
Yeah. Remember our father growing up? There was one fucker who did that, and he had this. He was I think it was a motorcycle, and he had this. He must have fucked with the muffler. It
was so loud you could hear it a mile away.
Oh my God, you'd hear it coming.
Yeah.
You hear it coming down the road, and then when it passed by, it rattled the fucking windows.
And our father would wake up at 4 a.m. Go to work at Sikorsky's, and he was a union guy, shop guy, and this guy would drive by at like midnight, and he'd already be asleep for 2 hours, and you bastard, I hope you die. Like you hope you crash.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, hope you die.
We were giggling.
Yeah, it's funny.
if you crash, I'd piss on you. Like every night was like a different profanity.
It was usually a weekend thing a guy would go by, though. It was a Friday or Saturday night thing, you know. So yeah. Oh God. Yeah. So that was pretty good though. I think the Substack's working out for like blog and reviews. This is like a work in progress. You know what I mean? Honestly, it's like start with YouTube. Next thing you know, you're doing Substacks and Patreons, and you're learning how to do thumbnails. And my nephew gave me a tutorial tonight about things I never knew about how I'm proud of my thumbnails. I think I'm growing, and he gave me a tutorial which pretty much made me think they suck. So I got to learn more about that. Now I'm learning desktop
Well, he's a
publishing.
journalism major in college, so he's learning a lot of shit.
Yeah. That's why I asked him about this stuff, because he knows it. You know, he told me in a few minutes more than I learned in fucking 3 years.
Yeah, he also had his own podcast, and
don't say the name.
I'm not gonna say he had his own podcast, Instagram.
Yeah,
and
when he was a kid,
way back in the day when he was like 11, he had a Star Wars YouTube channel with my nephew.
Yeah,
they would just review like
their toys.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's kind of cool.
It was awesome.
I still save it as a favorite. Once in a while, when I miss him when he's in school, I'll play one of them.
Yeah. No, they're cool, and it's funny to hear the voice now. You know.
Oh God.
Jesus, man, that little kid voice that you miss.
Yep.
You know. Yeah. How to YouTube? Yeah, exactly, Austin. He's telling me how to YouTube. You know. I'm thinking I'm learning something and doing well, and he drops these wisdom bombs on me. Like, oh, what? Let me take notes. You know, that's pretty fun. So, yeah, Patreon, I'll get going for that, and you know, I figured we could talk a little bit about what I'm doing, and then Substack for the book report type things on reviews from Appendix N books and whatever else comes to mind. But then, it's the funny thing is that I don't know. Did you see some of the comments? Did you read them at all? Yeah,
I read them last night until about 10 or Thursday night.
Yeah.
So about 10:30 or so, and then I stopped. But even when I stopped, Shawnee kept coming down to give me updates. But then I didn't see it the next day. The boys both read it the next day.
Yeah. It's like some people were like, "Yay, Joe is back," and then some people were like, "You know, I came to your videos because I like your approach to, breaking down the DM guide and various rules, things like that." It's like it really hit me. I got two different crowds here, at least two different crowds, and I've never seen such a fluctuation in my subscribers. I guess I wanted to address that a little bit today because I've been thinking about it. I'll from 1 minute to the next, like at 2 o'clock I'm down 10 subs, at 3 o'clock I'm up 12. You know what I mean? Things like that. People are leaving and coming. I think I'm losing a lot, and I think I'm gaining a lot of new ones. I can't keep up with it. Every hour it's down 5, up 10, down 10, up 5. And so I don't know what the hell's going on, but I have two different crowds is the clear answer, at least two different crowds. And, I'm not you look at some of the YouTube guys, they do one thing. Like some people just shit on pop culture, right? That's all they do. They will shit on whatever the hell Disney MCU movie or,
Well, they shit on what shit.
They shit on what shit, and they generally is shit. Yeah. But that's their thing, right? So, you're going to go to them, you're going to hear 5 minutes of them shitting on something, right? But I do different things. Like the one guy a couple of weeks ago when I dropped the Appendix N book review, 3 Hearts and 3 Lions, he's like, "What's happening to your channel? What's going on? I want to support you, but I don't know."
Well, what was his problem?
I never really got to talk to him about it, but it was like because my content is changing, Even over here when you talk though.
Because you weren't talking about how to be a good DM, like
probably, you know what I mean? Because I've been doing that for a while, right? And so when I change up, if somebody comes into the channel and they see what I'm doing for like 3 or 4 months, and they expect me to keep doing the same thing. Right. So he was like, "What are you doing?" And then, like I said, when I dropped this video, "Hey, Joe is back." And then some people were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe what you're doing."
Well, that sounds all well and good criticizing someone, but your topic itself, D&D, is effectively a niche. And when you talk about old school D&D, you're talking about a niche within a niche, and so you got to mix it up a bit, or else you run out of things to talk about.
Plus, the whole topic of D&D is so broad, right? Yeah. I mean, you could talk about rules. You could, like in the 5e sphere, you could talk about character builds all day long.
Right.
You could have a DM advice channel. You could talk about editions and various differences in editions. You could do reviews. You could be interviewer, right? And I do a little bit of everything. I got reviews. I got interviews. I have breakdown of rules. I give DM advice. I don't give too much player advice because I'm more of a, forever DM. But really, what it comes down to is I'm not a binary. I'm not a single person. I have more varied things, and I think D&D encompasses more varied things.
So what you're saying is you're non-binary.
I'm non-binary. I'm more than unitary, I guess. Unitary was if one thing. You only do one thing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't just do one thing. I'm going to do a bunch of different things, a bunch of different um, video topics, but it all relates to D&D.
Right.
And every once in a while, I'll talk about some, I saw Battlestar Galactica, right, or something like that. That's a one-off, and maybe I'll verge into pop culture shit. I might do
because there's a really good bet that people listening to you have probably seen Battlestar Galactica.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Especially our age.
Yeah,
right.
I'm saying.
I'll lean into that a little bit, and if I go to see an MCU movie, right, I might lean into that. So that's really what it'll be a little bit of everything, but I'll be focused on D&D, but not just one aspect of the game.
Right.
Right. So, and plus, I'm one of the different old school guys who actually plays the 5e game.
Well,
I played it. Ran it multiple campaigns. Ours went like 4.5 years. So
yeah.
I know the rules. I've been playing with him and fucking with the rules, of course. House ruling the crap out of it.
Right.
I'm multifaceted. Thank you, Tim. It depends how much you smoked or drank that night. Yes. If you go Alphabet Mafia, then I'm definitely I'm not an Alphabet Mafia guy, dude. Don't worry about it. You can only play so much vanilla Minecraft. Yeah. Takado, what's up? Welcome, buddy. Big mistake was doing face reveal before 100K subs. You know what? It does help to show my face. I think it really does.
I think he called you ugly.
Yeah, I think so too. No, or you want to say, there's a big reveal of my face if I get the 100K subs.
Well, I was the one who was pushing it to go on camera for a long time, even when you weren't, just because it just adds a level of humanity to it.
Yeah.
More personal.
I was hedging on doing any interviews because I didn't want to, that's what really I wanted to start doing interviews. I'm like, I can't be like a little graphic image of the, Charles Bukowski sitting on a toilet, whatever the fuck, in an interview if this guy's showing his face.
Right.
And I want him to show his face, or else it's just a radio interview,
right?
Not a YouTube interview. So I'm like, I got to do it, And I was talking to some people. I'm like, yeah, what the fuck? I might as well. The only difference is like my Clark Kent disguise is in real life, day to day, my hair is always back in a ponytail, and so when I'm doing my videos, I let the hair go down, literally and figuratively.
Why do you do that?
It's usually a work thing. I'd rather have it back, But if I go home, kick it back, I'll let the hair down, and just more too to taunt, because I guarantee you, I got 22 people watching right now or so. I guarantee you, way more than half of these guys got less hair than me, so it's like a fucking flex, Figure what the hell out, flex the hair, like that, Tim.
And you don't have a lot of gray either for someone who's 55.
Yeah, maybe some. I mean,
you got some, but not a lot.
Yeah.
I have more gray than you. I'm 53.
Yeah.
Well, my gray's cool. I've got the Mr. Fantastic temple whiteness.
You had the thing going with the whole. Yeah, you should have kept it when you had your hair longer. Didn't cut your hair all short.
That was during COVID when I just went like 8 months without a haircut.
Yeah.
I liked it, but it just always gets to a point where it's awkward and it's an in-between phase, so I just got rid of it.
My in-between phase growing out long, I was doing a lot of gel.
Yeah.
Back. Yeah. This doesn't sound like a fucking girl broadcast here. Let's talk about some manly things like D&D.
Yeah.
So I brought some paperwork. I could maybe talk about some of the things I'm doing, but just broadly speaking, I decided to do like a. I was working on my own RPG, and I had like 9 ability scores and things like that. And then I had the idea. It just came to me one night when I had a puff and I was meditating. A lot of good ideas when I meditate, by the way. It hit me like I should make an old school ranger, an old school version of a ranger, right? And I talked about this 3-4 weeks ago. I'm going to do that, right? I'm going to make a 5e ranger, but old schoolify him. And so I'm like, all right, I'm going to fuck with that. I'm going to do this. And I started working on it a couple weeks ago. I spent I tried to learn desktop publishing at the same time, so I probably spent like 12 hours just fucking with it. And what I realized was I need to actually change some of the core concepts in 5e in order to do that. Because, for example, the skill system, like if you're going to old school a class, you need to have a skill system that sort of fits the old school aesthetic. Now, not a lot of old schoolers like, if you're using a skill system, it's not fucking old school in the first place. That's bullshit, right? But I do like some kind of a base skill system. And a lot of people are going to resent this, is that I thought the best skill system, honestly, was a 3rd edition one. I thought that was pretty cool, and that there was a ton of different skills for different things that you could use. And there was some that were like, you put a point in if you're a class and you got 1 point. And some, if you're across class in it, you got like, it would cost you 2 points to get a point.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. Right.
Wow, that's going back.
Yeah. So I liked that
Second
approach.
edition did something just like that.
They had specials. What the hell was it?
It's
Secondary skill
Yeah,
system.
but it was still a skill system.
It was. It wasn't as, I didn't like, because it didn't have a DC thing.
Right.
You know, it was all weird. Everyone had their own thing. I liked the inherent DC base of a skill system, you know.
That's very 5e of you, Joe.
Yeah, well, no, it's 3rd edition, really.
What DC is a very specific 5e term.
Yeah, but you still get a target on what do you call DC?
Don't care. It's 5e comment.
Yeah. So really, what I told you, I'm hacking 5e. I'm old schooling 5e. So I'm keeping the 5e base of like class-based saving throws, things like that. You know, what's your saving throw ability score? I'm keeping proficiency bonus. I'm getting rid of inspiration. I'm getting rid of feats.
Yeah.
I'm incorporating feats, ones that matter, into the class.
Right.
I'm front loading rather than, you're not going to come in here with a build. I'm going to like spec out my guy from level 1.
You're not going to be a wizard who takes a tracking feat at 7th level.
No, exactly. I mean, you're not, because I want class protection, because above and beyond, old school always has class protection, right? Yeah. You're not going to have, the ranger be the lock picker, or the priest, because he has a high wisdom, be the best dude for finding secret doors.
Yeah, perception. Yeah.
Right? That's just dumb. That the druid would be the secret door finder in a goddamn dungeon. That's dumb.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm also, you're gone. Right. Intimidate, persuade, things like that. Gone. Fuck.
But then, how do you reconcile charisma? Like, some guy could have a good charisma, and charisma is clearly involved when you're trying to, say, convince a crowd to do something. So you have to factor in the ability score a little bit.
Yeah, I'd give it 1, 2, or 3 bonus on a D20. You know what I mean?
No, but I mean, but like, what I'm trying to say is, how do you reconcile the charisma against a doofus who doesn't know how to role play?
That's going to be a problem. I mean, there's always been a problem, right? Yeah. I mean, you got to, but I want the role play to be it. Right. Really, I mean, the people I play with aren't idiots, right? And, generally speaking, if I ever, like, I'm going to run a game in a game store or something like that, then you get what you get, right? In terms of the players. But I don't care, honestly. Fucking learn how to talk like a goddamn human being.
Or just play a personality that you can channel. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Play a class that's not the fucking face man of the group.
Right.
Right? If you're no offense, if you're autistic or whatever the fuck, you got some issues talking or something like that, fine and dandy. You're still playing my game. Maybe don't pick the bard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's really it. Don't pick the fucking bard.
Yeah.
So, just play to your strengths, man. I had one guy when I had the Lamentations game going in the fucking burrito store. The dude had somethings. He had some things going on, right? But he played a fucking fighter. He didn't do much talking. He did a lot of swinging, and he did well. This guy, I don't know how, he must have got magic dice, man, because he would always fucking, would you knock over, though, the beer?
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I just hit my pipe.
Oh, all right. Yeah, so he'd always have some good rolls, though. The guy, he always showed up with the fucking dice. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I keep thinking this, and I don't want to forget it. If you're making up a ranger, Dragon Magazine, episode number 106.
That's the one with the skills, the tracking.
It's called More Range for Rangers. Because the older versions of the game, they're like, Rangers are adept at woodcraft.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like along the lines of what you're talking about in your comparison of the 5e versus 4e classes the other day.
Oh, you heard that?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you listened to that. I wanted to make sure you did. I forgot to tell you.
But the cool thing is, as a good help to the dungeon master, there's a great article in there, More Range for Rangers. And by the way, some of the hottest cover art on Dragon Magazine of all time, that particular episode. It describes, it was like 15 or 20 different ideas for what is woodcraft. And then it just gives ideas for how you would roll for different scenarios. It doesn't enforce a chart on you. It's just like, hey, here's an idea. If the ranger says, I want to blaze a trail so that I can find my way back, make march on trees, here's some ideas around bonuses and shit like that. So again, it's not forcing rules upon you. It's basically a utility for you as a dungeon master, so you kind of help if the ranger decides to do certain things.
Yeah.
Really cool.
We got some questions going on here. We got, what do you think about, you have me beating the hair department, says, all right. Yeah, so I'm mocking Tim's hair. He says, yeah. My hair is glorious. Hair gets curled if I let it grow. A lot of hair defenses here.
Oh.
My hair is glorious. Hair is curled, let it grow. Let's see here. You definitely have me beating the hair department. So we got a question. How about adding more random elements to shopping? You know what? I mean, the shopkeeper has what the shopkeeper has. I might, while you're there, say like, all right, he has healing potions or whatever. D6. How many does he have? So that's the kind of thing I would do. You know what I mean? There's the marshmallows, says Flint. No marshmallows, man. Play to your strengths is good advice. 6 minutes in, he's a little bit behind, but he does like, there we go. He does like, the Penzang stuff was cool. I don't know what he was talking about either. I don't know if it was a general thing or what, you know? So, yeah, Erudite, back by the fire again. It finally got nice enough to do the fire, you know? It's been so fucking hot, man. You just got back from Florida. What did they say about Florida? What was the comment the guy made?
In the limo on the way back from Disney World to Orlando International, we were just talking about the weather, because what the hell else is there to talk about?
Yeah.
It's 94 and humid every day. And he said the weather's like living inside a dog's mouth.
Yeah.
And I can't argue with that.
Yeah. Death Angel shout out. There's no real time for this stream that I start, because we picked this. If it's a nice day and we don't have a shit ton of stuff to do on the weekend with family or kids or blah 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 blah, right? Then we say, hey, well, you're free Saturday, let's do this. And it comes down to what time you want to start. Once everybody's inside, and 8:30, 9, whatever it might be.
Yeah, the family's all situated.
Yeah, everyone's home or either where they're going to be. So yeah. I lived next to Disney for 40 years. God damn, Death Angels, how are you still alive? Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ. But yeah, some of the elements, like I said, I'm front loading the classes. I'm getting rid of the bullshit races. Like, I don't know if you even saw it, the 2024 D&D has like a Goliath, which is like half giant, has an Azimir, which is the opposite of a Tiefling, right?
Oh, yeah.
Tieflings, Azimirs, half giant. Fuck you.
Yeah.
They're all out of there.
I know this version of the game is an offshoot of 5e, but just when you showed me the book briefly,
yeah,
and I wouldn't say it's bad art from an aesthetic perspective. Like, it's well done art.
Yeah.
It's not like someone who doesn't have any skills, but like, I think there was, of all the character classes and races, I think I saw like 2 masculine dudes. One of them was a dwarf.
Mm-hmm.
Every other class was like low-key androgynous.
Well, the picture of the dwarves, if you look at the dwarf race picture, what they had was like, one dwarf had a tattoo of his boyfriend dwarfs. They each had the matching tattoos of their beards on their arm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my point. I can't even speak to the game outside of a little bit of what you've told me, but I've got no desire.
No, I mean, I bought the book because I figured, let me see what's new in here that I'm going to steal. Anything. But I'm changing up so much. Like, I remember wizard spells too. Remember that?
Not only do I remember, when we started playing your hacked up 2nd edition campaign with Rob and that crew and Greg, Rob was adamant he was going to play a ranger.
Yeah.
But then forgot that in 2nd edition they took away the wizard spells and only had druid spells. So he said, "Fuck it, I'm not going to do it." Because Rob, like me, he knows that the ranger class.
But it get much later, 7th or 9th level or something.
Yeah, of course. But the ranger class in AD&D was a direct model of Aragorn and the Dunedain Rangers, and that's why Gary Gygax gave them like wizard spells, because they had the Dunedain had like low-key magical abilities, sort of kind of thing.
Nice glow to the pipe.
But yeah, so they had wizard spells and druid spells, which was cool.
I'm bringing that back. Cool nonetheless. Did we just lose, guys? Did we just lose these? I saw like the screen blacked out for a second there. Are you still here? Are we still broadcasting? I hope so. There's 9 races in the 5e handbook. How many were in 1e? What was it? Halflings, gnomes, dwarves, humans, elves, right? And half elves, and I think there was half orcs.
Half orcs,
yeah. Yeah. So I'm bringing back half orcs. I'm not having orcs in there. You didn't see the picture of the orcs either. They're the Mexicans. The orcs look like Mexicans now. Yeah, I'll show you afterwards. It's fucking ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you missed that drama too. Hyperborea 3rd edition. Yeah, the gay dwarf baristas, Raptor 7 says. Exactly. Yeah. Dirty dwarf. Speaking of dwarves, Dirty Dwarf is here. What's up, man? The campfire barely has a light radius of 5 feet. That's true. It's more like a torch than the campfire. You got to get that shit going again.
I think the wood got a little wet in that last turret.
Oh, yeah?
So
you got big logs around or something? Throw some more on there.
I will.
Yeah, you're a master of big logs, Yeah, it dropped, but it's back. Okay, cool. If it happens again, I don't know what happened. I don't know why it dropped, but yeah, we're here. We're on. We got good Wi-Fi going, Yeah. So anyway, what I'm going to do is bring back that aspect of rangers. Now, I think that's what's interesting though is rangers are nowadays the pet class. They got because of the whole Drizzt bullshit, right? Everybody wants to be Drizzt, right?
Not just that, MMOs.
MMOs too. Yeah, well, I think MMOs got it for Drizzt though. That's where they got it from, right?
Oh, I don't know about that.
But
you need, every MMO needs a pet class.
Well, I mean, they are the pet class now. These guys, right? So there's the pet version, and then there's the Aragorn stereotype or archetype, I guess you would say, right?
Yeah.
The Aragorn archetype, right? So that's a good stack. That's gonna fall though. I can see that once it gets going, that's gonna fucking collapse hard. Yeah, but there's the Aragorn archetype. So what I'm gonna give is an option. I'm gonna say arrange because remember the old AD&D, the wizards would set up like in an area, claim the land 20 miles around and clear it, and clear the space at 9th level or something like that.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking to myself, there's no wizard in AD&D with his 19 hit points at 9th level. If he's lucky, right? He's going to go out there and just clear the land, right?
Pay me taxes, damn it.
Yeah, they're gonna hire somebody to clear the land. Who is the most natural person to clear the land than a higher level ranger with his followers and some other people, right?
Yeah.
So that makes the most sense. And then there's the druid who's associated. The ranger who's
clear the land of what though?
Huh? Of whatever monsters are in there, so we can get settlers and collect taxes from them, right? Yeah. All right. So then there's the other side, the ranger who's associated with the druid, right? And so I thought that whenever that level is, let's say it's 9th or 7th or 8th or 9th or whatever it is, when they start to get wizard spells in AD&D, I'm going to give them the option then. Which archetype do you want to be? If you're the archetype like Aragorn, has a magical background, knows wizards and this and that and elves, then you would have the ability to say, hey, you have served that wizard by clearing his land for a long time. He's taught you some spells. You have like a patron, right? Over time, he's taught you a little bit of the rudiments of magic. And so by 9th level, you learn some spells and you could do that. Or if you are a ranger associated with a druid, right, then you have had the option to maybe attune with a pet, right?
So you're by definition throwing out the idea that rangers are good, like in most
yes.
RPGs.
Yeah, they are. They would be. You know what I mean?
They would be what?
Good.
They would or would not?
Would.
Well, what if the wizard's evil?
I don't think ranger would work for him. I mean, maybe, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. You got to think that shit through.
I will.
First of all, not every wizard, just by definition, that reaches 9th level says, I want to clear out a plot of land to make my own.
This is the archetype of AD&D. Remember, I'm old schoolifying 5e, right?
Yeah.
So I want to carry that archetype in there. I'm trying I like the aspect of wizard spells because I like the Aragorn archetype and all that shit, but I wanted to make sense in some story way within the game, right? Yeah. So within the world. So I figured, well, that makes some sense. You have a ranger who is associated, maybe not, they're not good. But a ranger who's associated with the wizard gets spells. A ranger who's associated with the druid in the village that the druid supports would get the pet, right? And the pet would be, decent power.
Would the ranger get druid spells?
They would get, no matter what, they're going to get some level of druidish.
Oh, I see. Both get druid. One gets wizard spells.
They don't start getting druid spells until maybe 4th level.
Yeah.
Right, and rather than 1st now, where you start popping them out. But I'm thinking they're going to get not just druid spells, they're going to be ranger-specific priestly spells. Yeah. Right? Something like along those terms. They're going to get something like where rangers, Aragorn, knows the king's foil, whatever, and he heals some, bandage, things like that. And I think that's really the approach I'm going to take with this. And that's just the ranger, for example. But like I said, the underlying skill system has to change because I want to give rangers some skills that other classes don't have. And I want to give wizards some skills classes don't have. I'm bringing back that 30 thing where you had like knowledge, arcana, knowledge, nature, knowledge, engineering, knowledge, like 6 different types of knowledge. There's the fires going now. Right. You know what I mean? And then, certain classes like, why the hell would a priest, unless he's the priest of the god of magic, get knowledge arcana? Right? Sure. Things like that don't make any sense, right? And then there's going to be some like riding or swimming that anybody could get. Those are the common skills to all classes, right? And then that's sort of the approach I'm going to take with it, though.
2nd edition did a pretty okay job with that when they came up with spheres. I loved how they
thought
did
that was good.
When
I thought that was good.
Contrasted it to just the basic AD&D stuff, but because they had like, I can't remember all the spheres, but like light or sun or death, or in fact that carried forward even to Pathfinder, I believe, and third edition.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a good job. It wasn't perfect, but at least you had groups of spells, and it made sense. Maybe it wouldn't make sense for one particular class of everything from that group, but they did a good job of sort of consolidating that.
The other thing I was thinking about, more gesturing with the pipe. I feel like such a fucking wizard. Another thing I'm thinking about is, God, I threw myself off saying that fucking compliment to myself. Jesus Christ, what the fuck was I going to say?
I don't know.
Clerics, wizards, druids, son of a bitch. Oh, clerics. Yes. Clerics. I don't like that as a concept. I like specialty priests. Like from the second edition, you're a priest of a god, right? You might have some spells in common, like cure light moons and shit like that, but not all would be able to turn undead, for example. All that sort of shit, right? I like that you're a priest of a god.
The last second edition campaign I ran, which was over 25 years ago, and it ended sometime in the late 90s. But the last second edition campaign I outlawed clerics.
Yeah.
If you're going to be a cleric, if you want to be a priest, you were going to be a specialty priest.
Yeah.
And it's just because, why would a cleric of, and I'm thinking of what, Azuth, right? Or was it Bakab? What was the god of magic?
Bakab and Greyhawk.
Bakab in Greyhawk, right?
Yeah.
Why would he have the same spells as someone who worshipped Nerul the Reaper?
Yeah. Exactly.
Like the same exact spell list. So I'm like, that would never happen. It should never happen. So you could be a priest, but you're just a priest of that god, and you're going to get the spells appropriately.
Yeah. That's it. That's what I wanted to do. So I thought that was cool. But then I was doing an interview, I think, with Alexander McCree, and I think it was him, but it was one of my interviewees, and they were talking about how a priest back in the old days or whatever, Rome, Greek, whatever, you'd be a priest of a pantheon, and I sort of like that idea, a priest of the pantheon, and the pantheon of Greek gods, Norse gods, whatever, and you might have a focus or something. But then there might also be priests devoted to one like Thor.
All right, but think that through.
And that would be a cleric, would be the priest of the pantheon.
Sure, but think that through. It's easy to rationalize a priest of a pantheon when no priests in ancient Greece were casting spells.
Yeah.
So there was no relevance or no fallback, no drawbacks of picking one over the other.
Yeah.
So it all sounds well and good, but there's no ramifications of not having to pick one.
I think the priest of the pantheon would be. You wouldn't get a lot of special spells that the cleric rather. But cleric would not get real special spells, whereas the priest of a god of fire, some maybe fire-based spells later on as he goes up in level, right?
Yeah.
But I have to think about what does a priest get? What does a cleric get that the priest doesn't get? And these are just ideas I'm bouncing around,
The other thing about pantheons is let's just take the ancient Greek pantheon or even Roman because they're basically the same thing. You had rivalries of gods, right?
Yeah.
But they were all basically effectively brothers and sisters.
Yeah,
right?
They're all related.
And so you didn't have a group that, say, of Saint Cuthbert in the same pantheon as Eos. Yeah. Because they would be killing each other, literally.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Whereas, if you take it back to like Hades and Zeus, they're rivals, but not one's killing each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's different when you take that sort of context into a D&D world versus what we perceive to be a real world in our...
Well, that gets into the whole thing about you'd have priests, a pantheon of gods, rather, for the humans of the world. The dominant... Oh, the fire's going good. Good breeze. The dominant pantheon would be the human one of the world, right? And then the demi-humans, elves, dwarves, gnomes, blah, 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 they might have like one or two gods.
Right.
But they might also worship the human pantheon, but they might have a couple gods, right?
Right.
And so, I would see dwarves having the god of war, the god of forgery and creating things, and the god of beer, right? Or something like that, So there might be specialty priests like that, but maybe they fall into the human pantheon. But they wouldn't. They're related, and friends, cousins, something. I don't know.
Or the same exact god, but different aspects.
Different aspects, different name. Yeah, and they wouldn't even know it's the same. The
exactly.
same god.
They don't know. You're right.
But then you'd have, what do you do with the god of gnolls? Let's say it was demon based, or the god of orcs who's hates elves. What the hell were they, right? I don't know. So that's something I got to think about, right? And what kind of spells would they get? But I do like that approach to it, though. That's sort of like the broad strokes of what how I'm viewing this stuff. And it's gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be stripped down 5e. It's an old school version, so it's gonna be, like I said, no feats. Gonna build it into the class. It's gonna be front loaded. No multi-classing. I like class protection. You're not gonna be able to spec a guy out from level 0 to level 25, you know, things
That's the
like
lamest
that.
thing ever.
Yeah. But
Some of my favorite YouTube guys that I've learned to play D&D, well, learned a lot about the game in terms of game mechanics. I'll listen to like 5 videos in a row, and I'm like, man, this guy's the best. And then he'll be like, here's my favorite tank DPS caster pet. And like, well, you lost me. Like, I'm checked out.
I mean, the thing that gets me is the assholes who talk about, like, I'm going to dip into Barbarian for 2 levels. Fucker, Barbarian is a culture. It's not a goddamn skill
right
thing
after
to learn.
Paladin 4 levels.
Yeah. I'll take 4 levels of Paladin, and then I'll dip into Barbarian for 2 levels in order to get whatever the fuck. And then I'll maybe do a Shadow Thief for a level of that. This isn't a fucking MMO. This goddamn thing exists in a world.
The crazy thing is, and obviously I agree with you on this. I don't agree with you on everything with D&D, but I agree on this. It's the fact that we've had to explain this to people in game settings and like spell out the logic of why that can't work to me. And I'm talking about, like, we're not talking to 12-year-olds, we're talking to adults. And I have to explain why that doesn't make sense in the campaign. And like, you just wasted 8 minutes of my life and 8 minutes of this session. It's beyond me how people think that's appropriate.
Well, they don't get that the game, they look at it as a game, and they're not looking at it as immersion. Look, I'm going to a dungeon, I'm going to break down doors and take, kill the thing inside and take their stuff, which is like entry-level D&D, right? It's what we all did in 1983 or something, And so this is what they do. This entry-level D&D bullshit. And so it's like, when you look at that as an approach, and you're going to get together for your campaigns last 4 weeks, right? And the campaign exists, it's just one book, right? And you're running through the whatever the version of Against the Giants is,
right?
And then it's like, you're not in a world. There might be an implicit world or implied world in there somewhere,
or if you're Gygax, you can create one huge mega campaign and somehow shoehorn it in after the Slave Lord's adventure or something.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. It's like they don't approach it the same way, They don't approach it the same way at all. Got a lot of comments going. Let's see. It's retarded. You're back after a dip. But yeah, so if it happens, let me know. Dropped a couple times, it came back quickly. Good, just a blip. We're about 100 feet from his house where the thing is, So yeah, we all know how half orcs happen. Exactly, and that's going to be like that in my world too. That it's not a product of involuntary sexual encounter.
Oh, you mean hot elf chicks aren't coming up and kicking into orc dudes?
Yeah, exactly. Negative, and orcs have a negative charisma bonus. From a loving relationship, exactly. It's from a very drunken rainbow washed. He lost for a second there too. It's like the rainbow washed. Ravenloft novel. No, I haven't read that. Orcs will breed with any humanoid race. Yes, Scully, the Hypno Skull. That's a great fucking long name. I can't see this far away. I should brought my glasses. Rangers Hyperborea are pretty sweet. I think they're pretty cool. I stole a lot from Hyperborea as much as I could. Joe's going to blow a smoke boat. If I could blow a smoke boat, I'd be a god.
Oh, like Gandalf.
God on the pipe, yeah.
You're talking about. He did that in the movie.
Oh, there's not going to be any sorcerers or warlocks. Do something different. And there's not going to be any sorcerers because there were no sorcerers back in the AD&D thing, Maybe an advanced classes.
That's not a good enough reason to not do it.
But that's why I'm making his old school 5e. So that's why I'm
not
doing it.
Yeah, but I mean, you can make something old school and incorporate a new class. And
I might do it like an advanced book or whatever.
I mean, I have reasons for not including sorcerers in my campaigns, but it has nothing to do with the version of the game.
Yeah.
Setting thing.
In Pathfinder 1e, turning the undead as a feat. Yeah, that's fucking Pathfinder.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. What's up, y'all? We didn't do Pathfinder too long. A wizard is a priest just without a god, says Terry Pratchett. Interesting. Or the priest of the science of magic, if you want to look at it that way, like scientists today. You're going to have a priest that follows my chihuahua. His name is the Mighty Thor. Smash that like button. Please do. Hit like and subscribe, everybody. Let's see. The god of Yingling. Yep.
Oh, that guy lives in Penn.
Benji and Sway, the deities of booze. It's good, Austin. The second they use terms like DPS and other MMORPG, that's when I'm out. And that's what happened with 4th edition. They tried to clone an MMO, right? I mean, that's it. Just say no. Yeah, multi-classing is flat out, from what was it, Monty Python or something.
Even in campaigns where I don't allow multi-classing, and that's most campaigns, I will still always allow some version of a fighter thief.
Yeah.
Because, like, otherwise, Han fucking Solo can't exist in your campaign.
Yes, exactly.
The scoundrel who maybe he's not, a master cat burglar, but he knows how to sneak around.
Yeah.
And he's a better fighter than a pure sneaky guy.
Yep.
So I think a fighter thief should be applicable to any campaign anywhere.
And
Figure it out.
I would let demi-humans multi-class like they used to be able to. What I would do there is just have like certain things that make sense, like a fighter. Obviously, elves are fighter magic users. That's an elf
just
thing.
playing into the old tropes. A gnome illusionist thief.
Bingo.
An elf fighter.
Exactly.
Wizard,
Exactly. A fighter wizard, or and an illusionist thief for gnomes, halflings, and dwarves cannot be wizards. I'm doing like you can't be any class and play. I can't make a race and play any class.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. God, man, the smoke.
I'm glad you got it. It's been up in my grill all fucking night.
Jesus Christ. I have protection versus smoke spell pretty much always on me, and it deflects it to you most of the time.
Yeah, it's been on me all night.
Yeah, I know. It's funny because you always pick that spot naturally, and you're here fucking getting nailed with smoke now. So yeah, but I don't like the thought about dwarves and halflings. It just doesn't fit. There's no halfling wizards in Lord of the Rings, right? And what I'm doing is sticking to the ancient archetypes, and it's going to be informed by a lot of this Appendix N reading that I'm doing. Quite honestly, So that's pretty much it.
It's a cultural thing, and it's a campaign thing, and that's your prerogative.
Yeah. There's not going to be a campaign setting, related to this book, this series of books, but it's going to be like an implied set of assumptions about any campaign that's old school in nature.
You were going to do a campaign setting.
That's next. That's coming up. This is the first thing I'm going to put out in a couple of years.
Yeah.
I hope to have the thing written this fall, and then start play testing with you, in live in person, and then maybe at a game store, pick up a group at a game store.
And what about your old?
I want to get them maybe in the spring. Once I work on how to code HTML character sheets for Roll20, because any online thing, I want to have a character sheet. I want to have, to click the thing and see it work,
right.
Even if it's a basic bitch character sheet,
right.
Because once you set it up, and, I'm not looking for user friendly. I'm looking for just, click a button and that's a sword roll and here's your damage in there,
right.
That sort of thing. It doesn't have to look pretty. It just has to work, which would require more work at the outset. It's not auto-populating attack bonuses and shit like that. But as long as you could write the number in and update it when you level up, essentially what I'm doing is making a paper character sheet online without all the shit built in. I want a basic sheet. Plus, I bet Rob Connolly that I could. He mocked me that I could do it. I said, Rob, back in the day, I liked the program.
Well, it's just like a fillable PDF, for Christ's sake.
Well, I used to like the program back in the day, and then my Commodore VIC-20 ran a RAM and I stopped. But in 8th grade, I was voted, the quietest, shyest kid, and also the most likely to be like the computer programmer, geekhead, blah, blah, blah.
You realize that wasn't meant as a compliment.
No, I know. Yeah, totally. But the point is, there's a parallel universe in a multiverse where it's not Joe the lawyer, it's Joe the coder.
Yeah.
That guy exists somewhere, and I need to tap into that knowledge. You know what I mean? So I'm sure, because my mind works that way. I kind of enjoyed it. I dipped into a few YouTube videos one day. I spent about 4 or 5 hours. I'm like, all right, I could grasp this. I understand. I got an HTML for Dummies book, so I'm going to learn that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So it should be good. And I'm also going to do, what I did for XP in this thing? I decided I'm using the same XP table. I'm just adding a 0 at the end of everything because I'm doing gold for XP.
Oh, right.
Right? So
I think it's 0. It's adding and making it an order of magnitude more.
Exactly. But you're going to get gold for XP, which helps fill in the gaps.
Well, that's a lot of fucking gold.
No, I mean, that's the old way of doing it, right? I'm raising the price of some of the gear and equipment and things like that, obviously, to make up for it. But the point is, it's going to, I want to.
Why not just double it?
I will say. The easiest thing to do is add a 0. We'll see how it scales, But I wanted to sort of match the old AD&D levels of XP. I think you needed, 1250 for a wizard to get the first level. Here,
I don't remember anymore.
I think you need 400 or 500 to get the second level on this game.
Well, that's
I'm not gonna be 4,000. Maybe I'll double it. Maybe I'll something. But it's gonna be more. It's gonna be higher. Put it that way. It's gonna be much higher. So and that way you're gonna get the gold for XP thing in there. So that makes sense too. And that'll affect the style of game. Because it's the XP motivator.
You're forcing a style, though. Now you're forcing everybody to be greedy fucks.
Not greedy fucks, just gold for XP.
Well, but you're creating a campaign where everybody wants to be, everybody's money hungry. Everybody's motivations are money.
Yeah. Adventurers, Conqueror, King. The whole thing. It's like, Conan, Flofford and the Grey Mouser, shit like that, right? So, that's what I want, all the archetypes. Let's see. We require typical manifesting during puberty. The Barbarian Hyperboreas. I like the Barbarian Hyperborea. They sell Yingling everywhere now. First time I saw it was 2000. They went up to Pennsylvania from Florida, and then my fiance's grandmother's funeral. So I'll try that Chinese beer.
That's actually
funny.
funny. You know, that's the actually oldest brewery, continuing brewery in America.
Yeah.
It didn't come to Connecticut until about 2012, 2013. My beer guy, local beer guys, you got to try this stuff. It's really cheap, relatively speaking. It's a very cheap beer compared to other shit.
Yeah.
And it's actually pretty darn good. It's not definitely my go-to, but every once in a while I grab a 12-pack.
Yeah.
It's got a good nutty flavor.
Yep. Ying's the oldest of the breweries, says David Mills. He beat you to that comment. Yeah. Let's see. He says, how about races negative traits like the elf can't wear armor because iron burns Fae? That might be something. You know what we're going to do with elves, though? Is going to be elves and elves. Elves are going to be a setting-based thing, right? They're going to be like evil Fae. And all the court, the elven court that you see in Gygax's Dresden books, you know, the elven
the
Fae
Fae.
court.
That's what he's talking about.
I'm gonna have those called elves,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna have elves, which are like traditional Tolkien elves. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna do something like that. I want to fuck with that.
Well, why don't you just? Who cares what the naming is? Maybe one side's summer, one side's winter, meaning the ones that cooperate and the ones that don't.
Completely different
abilities. Well, that's what I'm saying. You make them different abilities.
It's very different in character. It's not going to be like that.
I think you might want to rethink the plural versus singular. I think, you know, just come up with a different convention.
I like the idea of character, the PCs having to figure it out.
Okay.
You know, so that'd be interesting.
It's going to sound like a who's on first scenario.
Yeah, maybe. Austin Walker, good night, buddy. Take it easy, man. I got a degree in programming. Hey, I'm an IT guy. I got a degree in programming. 4E D&D for Dummies. I have that book. Yeah, it's getting late at fucking 9:26. I know, we're all old, man. We're all fucking old. But I am going to do maybe not negative traits for races like on that level, but I'm going to give them like orcs are going to have, or half orcs rather, are going to have a -3 or -4 penalty to charisma because they're fucking ugly, you know? And so there's going to be a penalty there. Even though charisma is more like force of personality too, there's also a looks component based in, right? So they're going to be, they have some kind of a penalty going. And there's going to be certain abilities that the classes get, that the demi-humans get. I'm stealing that from all the shit I've been working on already. So going to be, Roscoe's on the hunt.
Yeah, he smelled something.
He just
trotting around now.
Bolted to the shed there.
He's been chilling for a while. He's right behind you, laying down, and something got his attention.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
Yeah. So I'm going to do something along those lines, though, where the elves have, the different races, either demi-human races have special abilities that maybe others don't have. Sure. Like gnomes have microscopic vision, elves have telescopic vision. And all that is, there's no mechanic to it at all. It's like gnomes can see things in great detail if it's close to their face. It's like being nearsighted or something.
They're cutting their gems. They need
Exactly. And then elves, for example, it's like they can maybe see twice as far. Remember Legolas in the movie? Like he saw the wargs and shit before anybody else. Yeah.
But when they use that ability, they got to go.
Yeah, the Bionic Man.
But no one's understand that, or if they do, I give them a lot of respect.
Yeah. Speaking of the books, I thought about this too. My book covers, everybody likes. There's always this warrior fighting a dragon, right? And then so some badass wizard casting a spell, or wizard in a lab, or something like that. You have all these things that people put on their, the DMG, Player's Handbook, whatever, Monster Manual. All of mine are going to be hot chicks in chainmail bikini.
Now we're talking.
Because thank you, Sydney Sweeney.
Yes.
Thank you, Sydney Sweeney, for giving me that fucking idea. Because goddamn, I think we could have pretty girls on books now, finally, again. So.
Well, there's going to be about 4% of the population that's going to be at a protest. Yeah. As long as you know where it goes away.
Yeah. Yep. So, just goes.
Mine doesn't. I wish they.
Yeah. But Sydney Sweeney though. It's going to be every male bikini's on the cover. Yeah. It's not going to relate to the Monster Manual Player's Handbook or anything else. Maybe the Monster will be a succubus.
And that chainmail bikini has the same armor class as full chainmail.
Absolutely, because it attracts the metal of the swords and clubs. And,
well, you know what it is. You know what it is. It's the distraction component.
Yeah.
When someone's fighting her, they get so distracted by that chainmail bikini, it effectively acts as really good armor.
That's true. It fucks you in the head.
Mm-hmm.
It'll fuck you up in the head. Yeah. The people who'll be mad about they deserve to be mad. Exactly, Raptor 7. They deserve to be mad. Raptor 7 comes from Rumble, which is a much more conservative-leaning platform.
Sure.
In a sense, because a lot of conservatives went there when they got censored other places.
Right.
It's just a platform that does not censor things. So, yeah. And Tim, I don't know if you saw that text I saw you, man. I sent you, but I sent it to you and Eric because I figured out a way to have this thing go to Facebook automatically to public. We're not having to edit it and all that shit. So that's kind of nice. That worked well. So yeah, take a look at that. So yeah, so those are some of the ideas I'm working on, and that's the kind of shit. Like I said, I'm gonna post. I might talk about it broadly like this in a YouTube video, but if you guys want to see it, actually me doing it in action, go to patreon.com/Joe the Lawyer, I believe is the name of it. I should probably check that before I start telling people what the hell the goddamn site is. Let me see here. Patreon. Let me go to Patreon. Talk while I find Patreon. Patreon.com. Stumped you, huh?
So no, I'll just give an update on what I'm doing with D&D.
Yeah.
Absolutely fucking nothing.
Why not?
Well, the campaign sort of wrapped up in April. You dropped in March, and then another guy dropped because he's got a fucking hot girlfriend. So I'm giving him a pass. Good for him. He's a great dude, and he deserves a hot girlfriend. And then it was just me and 2 players, and I didn't want to change the structure of the campaign to adapt it to a 2-player thing because it just would have, what I was running, and it just would have never fit.
Yep.
It would have seemed contrived and corny. So honestly, we've been going hard at D&D for so many years that I just said, you know what, guys, let's pick it up in the fall. I'm going to start a new campaign. I got an idea. It'll be pretty grounded. Like I like all my campaigns to be grounded, and we'll start playing in the fall. And I figured, all right, it's April. I've got until, fall technically starts in September, although I always think of fall, like October, whatever. I knew I had like 5-6 months to get a campaign going. And the next day after we met at a bar, we talked about what we want to do. I prepped and I got some stuff, and it was the last time I touched it because I've just really been enjoying not having to do anything. Playing is so much easier.
Especially the summer.
Yeah. And quite honestly, I've been really busy at work with the new-ish job, and I'm enjoying it. And I just haven't had, the last job, I was making a lot of money, but I was so fucking checked out, and I was just waiting to find something else. So I did 90% of my prep when I should have been working from home.
Nice.
So and that was fine, but I have no time now. So I've done nothing, and I'm not apologizing for it. I'm enjoying the free weekend nights.
Yep. Yeah, that's good. It's good. When you can start something again though in the fall, or
that's the plan. You know what it is? Like one of my kids is already in school, and the triplets are going to be seniors, and I just really enjoy hanging out with them every last minute I can.
Yeah.
So like all of them have watched The Office, and I'm like one of the few people my age who didn't get hooked into it back like
I never
20
did
years
either.
ago.
I just don't like the humor.
I love it. I've seen a bunch of it just by proxy. I've seen a bunch of it. Roscoe's on to something. I think it's my daughter.
One of the kids are out there.
Yeah, but so now we've been watching The Office. We're halfway through season 6. And so like I quite honestly would rather do that on a Friday night right now at this point in my life than play D&D.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you got D&D is a hobby. It's not a fucking job or a pastime.
Right.
I did like the time off. I like the break. It's like I've been running multiple games, playing multiple games, and I'm done. I'm burnt out. I need a fucking break.
Exactly.
Plus, I want time to work on my own shit, right? But what I did notice though is that now I'm jonesing again to run games. I'm not jonesing to playing games. I'm jonesing to run games.
I'm the opposite. I'm jonesing to play.
Yeah. No, I want to run it. I guess I'm a forever DM, right? I mean, that's more my gig.
Yeah.
I'm a forever DM, I think. So I just appreciate that better. I don't know. I just like it more.
Well, listen, playing for me has always been more fun, and it's a hell of a lot less work. Unless you play in your campaign, you got to write budgets for all 6 businesses you own and all that shit. I got to have the Excel spreadsheet. But no, it's to me, I just enjoy playing. It's just easier for the amount of time I have. I've never been able to devote as much time to DM prep as you. And so
you got kids and a fucking wife and a mortgage and a dog and
I got all the shit going on. So that's for that reason alone I prefer playing.
Yeah.
Just less work.
Yeah. Death Angels is Jones in the run as well. My kid is married, his wife is in the Navy, live in Virginia. Yeah. You're ready to run them, man. You got the kids out of the house, you're good to go, man. Get something rolling. Even if it's online, dude. I was thinking about this too. It's a weird thing. If I'm playing in I know it's gonna be a short campaign, right? It's not gonna be, 5 years, massive immersion into a world and a setting, right? If I know it's just gonna be like a short few months or something like that, and especially if you're using like a basic, man, you're getting killed on the smoke. You're getting destroyed.
My eyes
I know
are barely fucking open.
Jesus Christ, what the hell? What just I don't know where the hell we got to sit. But fuck, sit back maybe. But anyway, what I noticed something about myself where it's harder for me to play in another D&D game if it's a game like mine. Right? Like the way you run them, like me, like massive immersion, a lot of detail, all that kind of shit. It's harder for me to play in a game like that. But it's much easier for me to play under a DM who is opposite of me, who just runs the short stuff and that sort of thing.
Interesting observation. Yeah. I always just thought you were a fucking control freak.
Well, that's part of it. That's why I like, because I want, if you're going with a big, massive web of, people, places, and things that I want to learn about, to me, that's a challenge to figure them all out, map them out on my crazy fucking conspiracy theory board, and try to tie them all in. And I'm always mentally trying to figure that out. And so it becomes a game to try to beat the DM, right? Whereas I know if there's not a game like that, where you just adventure to adventure, and there's not much depth or detail, it's narrow in its scope, and it's going to be short in terms of the length of it. In 6 months or a year, to me, that's short. Right. I know the new schoolers think 6 months or a year is like, oh my god, a long campaign.
I wouldn't even. If you told me we're going to play a 6-month campaign, I'd say no.
It's not worth it. Yeah, I
wouldn't even bother.
It's assumed that if I'm going to be running a campaign, it's going to be at least 4 or 5 years at this point, right? So that's why I don't want to start it until I get something rolling I can keep rolling with. Right. So yeah, that's pretty much where it's at now with me. Is I noticed that about myself. It's easier for me to play in a short campaign of 6 or 12 months with a rules light system that maybe is not my favorite in the world, but it works good enough, right? Like Old School Essentials or, God forbid, Shadow Dark. That's fine with me. I could do that. I could do that much easier than playing in a game like yours or Rob's, because you and Rob run the same kind of game as me, and I get all kinds of worked up about trying to figure out every goddamn detail about it and take control of various situations.
Oh, God, yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to control the situation because that's survival to me, and I know that I'm trying to control the world. Eventually, all my characters, no matter who they are, it could be a paladin, it could be an evil wizard, they want to rule the world.
But you realize that makes for a less fun campaign for the other DM. Players.
And
for the other players.
Other players too, yeah.
Because you try to control everything.
Yeah, I try to maximize everything about the world. I'm not trying to min-max the fucking character as much as the world.
Right.
Try to min-max the world, I guess you could say, So, yeah. Let's see, what we got going on here. Good evening. I want to do, let's see. Might be an ADD thing. We've got a lot of comments we're missing when we're talking here. Jones and run as well. It's more challenging for me to run them. Might be an ADD thing. Self-publish. I'm trying to get this stuff out there, man. Self-publishing and all that. Just sell PDFs, exactly. I really, really want to do in real life games. Online is like what they're saying. I do. I get that, dude. But the thing is, if that's all you got, it's all you got, right? I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's just, you got to do what you got to do. You got to make a masturbation analogy here, but
See, now you look like, now you're just like Mel Gibson conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
What did you say?
The board with the web of pictures and who's.
Yeah.
Hey, that was a good fucking movie. That was we should go back and watch that.
That was pretty good.
I'm looking for some kind of just what the fuck movie, just a fuck around movie, I told you it looked like him. You did say I look like Mel Gibson. Other people said I look like Kurt Russell with the hair down. Multiple people said Kurt Russell.
Wow.
Somebody sent me a picture of him. Like, wow, I guess you're right. There's a certain it looked like Kurt Russell a little bit. So yeah, it was kind of cool. I'll take that. I'll take the Kurt Russell, younger Kurt Russell look.
I don't think that he was getting that the younger version of Kurt Russell.
Huh?
He probably meant the ego version of Kurt Russell in Guardians of the Galaxy too.
Yeah, the hair. That was the look of the hair. I let the hair down because they're like, oh, you look like this, you look like that. This is like the big reveal. So somebody said I should do the reveal earlier when I hit 100,000 subs as a tease or something, but I don't
think you're assuming a thing or two.
I think that I'm assuming I'll get to 100,000 subs.
That's what I'm saying.
I think that the people who are the big guys in this sphere, there's very few of them that are old school, right? Like us, and they're more polished in their videos. We got a helicopter flying over. I guess we talk conspiracy theory. Now we got the black choppers coming.
You know what it is? It's Lifestar.
Oh, is it?
I can hear it. That's Lifestar. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's that medevac helicopter flies like 200 miles an hour.
Oh yeah. Oh, a lot of lights going too. Yeah, not that high. Yeah. You guys can hear that helicopter. I don't know. Can you hear that?
It's distracting.
Yeah, I know. Can you pick up the helicopter sound? Because it's fucking drowning us out here. But it is fucking loud. Jesus Christ, man.
It's a really fast helicopter.
Yeah? All right. I was on a helicopter in Maui once. I did a helicopter tour to the volcano. And it flew over that in the helicopter. I was like, holy shit. It was pretty fucking cool. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. I wouldn't mind Kurt Russell because he got Goldie Hawn.
Well, that's
fucking
true.
A, man. You know.
And then ipso facto, Goldie Hawn's daughter.
But that's not. Is that Kurt Russell's daughter?
No, doesn't
That's
matter.
I didn't think so. Yeah, because
I can't remember her name, but she smokes.
Yeah, she was a hottie. But she was an Almost Famous. She was like the.
I can't think of her name.
Yeah, I mean, I forget it too. She was Kate Hudson.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was an Almost Famous. I love that is Almost Famous is my favorite movie of all time. This is the Desert Island movie. I'd watch it 1,000 times. That is my favorite movie of all time. I don't know.
I liked it, but I don't glaze it like you do.
Yeah, no, I just love the whole vibe, you know. And recently, I got into this Bob Dylan movie. I saw the only movie I've ever seen 3 times in a theater was that Bob Dylan movie with the dude from Dune in it.
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
Chalamet, yeah.
And I watched it a couple times since. I bought it on like Amazon or something.
I'm not a fan of that guy.
He's a good actor.
I don't dislike him, but he has all the chops to be like the next actual movie star.
He does,
which we haven't had in a really long time. Like when you take out Tom Cruise,
maybe Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt could have been if he took on more mainstream roles.
He sort of checked out.
Tom Cruise and maybe Robert Downey Jr. are the last true movie stars left.
The last ones that actually do movies, but you still have the Arnolds and the Stallones of the world.
Yeah, but they're
they haven't done anything since the '90s, really. Yeah. Other than that stupid Expendables movie.
Yeah.
But that Timothy Chalamet, I think,
I agree,
has all the chops to be something if he wants to, if Hollywood, of course, pushes him.
You haven't seen the Dylan movie, though, right?
No, I don't care.
It was good.
I'm sure it's a good movie.
It was so well done, you know.
Yeah,
it's
just more impressive that he actually sang all the songs.
Yeah,
like
Val Kilmer did in
like
the
Val
Doors.
Kilmer did with the Doors. Yeah, that just shows you how talented he is.
What is I think I read the organ guy from the Doors. So I think it was him, but he was definitely one of the Doors. Said that when he heard the recording of Val Kilmer singing the song, he thought it was Jim Morrison.
That's crazy.
I know, right? It's like he thought it was a different cut of a Jim Morrison.
Val Kilmer's one of those guys who's just incredibly talented. Also, extremely. Yeah, no, it's a bummer. Extremely underrated as an actor because he was a diva and acted like an asshole.
Lifting a drink here. I got the rum. What are you drinking?
My favorite IPA, Counterweight Headway.
I mean, who's died this year, dude? You know, I mean, Jesus
Hulk Hogan
Christ.
And Hulk Hogan and Ozzy in the same week.
Yeah, what the fuck is that even, man?
I talked about this meme I found that week.
Yeah.
It was like first Ozzy Osbourne, then Hulk Hogan. I don't want to mangle this. It's a tough week for white dudes in their 50s who are forklift certified.
That's so true.
Because it's that stereotype. It's like old white dudes who watch wrestling. They're blue collar dudes.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I would like. I'm not blue collar by trade, but I'm into Ozzy and Hulk Hogan. I grew up on Hulk Hogan, and I grew up
completely blue collar.
What's that?
That's where you grew up, blue collar.
I grew up blue collar.
Yeah.
I act blue collar.
You went to a trade school for high school.
Exactly.
I just get more blue collar than that. You went for AC, air conditioning, and refrigeration. I went for like radio and TV repair.
It's good. Our father made us go to a tech high school thinking that you'll get a trade, yada yada. Meanwhile, both of us wanted to go to college, so it was irrelevant. But and I picked my after freshman year you have to pick your shop, and I picked air conditioning for the sole reasons I knew I was going to do anything with it, but they didn't do anything.
No, yeah.
And I had a bunch of my upperclassmen friends were in it, so I picked like that, and I'm like, I just wasted half my high school, but whatever. But yeah, no, like so Hulk Hogan, Ozzy, there was a bunch others this year. Was Val Kilmer this year or previous?
Might have been this year. I think it was this year.
Yes, that's a bad one too.
Yeah,
I was a huge Val Kilmer fan. I mean, obviously, his portrayal of Doc Holliday in 1993 was legendary.
Yeah. How many Oz fests did we go to back in the day too?
98, 99, 2000, 2001.
So I went to 3, 4. Yeah.
There was a few others after that, but after that, it stopped becoming Ozfest where Ozzy would play, and it ended up just being like a Lollapalooza, like one show.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But there were some really, really good ones back in the day.
Yeah, we had fun. We had a good time back then. Yeah, I mean that's over 25 years ago, right? Jesus Christ.
There were some years I went to 2. Like I went to one in our state, and then I went to one in Boston.
They always had one in Hartford. It seemed like
always one at the we used to call it the Meadows, but I don't know what it's called now.
I don't know what it's called now. Yeah, but I'm going to see. Speaking of musicians and shit, I got 2 things coming up. I'm going to see. It's the Outlaw Tour. It's Bob Dylan. It's Willie Nelson, and I think it's Sheryl Crow. Couldn't care less about Sheryl Crow, but I figure I just had seen the movie, the Bob Dylan movie. And Instagram, of course, spies on me, my cell phone. So they started sending me, the Outlaw Tour show. And I saw there's tickets in Hartford. So I got that coming up on the 6th of September. I'm going to be in Hartford going to see Bob Dylan, Willie Nelson, and I will be bringing a nice fat fucking joint because goddamn, if you can't smoke a joint at a Willie Nelson Bob Dylan show, then the world is a goddamn fucking hallucination.
But is that the Civic Center or the amphitheater, the Meadows? Well, is it downtown or is it in?
I gotta look.
Yeah.
I gotta look at my phone. My phone will tell me where to go.
Yeah.
But I'll sneak one in anyway, one way or the other, you know. And I'm bringing my fucking old-fashioned army lighter because when people like hold their fucking cell phones up for that light nowadays, remember back in the day, what we do? We held up a fucking lighter.
And everybody smoked. So
Everybody had a lighter. And it's the ones lighters that you flip the thing open, the metal ones, you know, like the army lighter. Right? So I'm going to bring an old-fashioned army lighter, and all these douchebags will hold up their fucking phones and their goddamn lights, holding my fucking lighter up to the sky. Because fuck you. Fuck you. I'll use the same lighter to light my fat fucking joint.
Right.
You know? Yeah. I mean, a fucking Willie Nelson show, if they're going to bust down on pot, fuck you.
They won't.
Yeah, they can't be at a Willie Nelson.
Too many people.
Yeah. I even bought I did an Amazon there. I bought a metal tube, like a little scroll case, but for a joint.
Oh, nice.
It's like 5 inches long and a little, you know, maybe, I don't know how thick it is.
You gotta get that through security, though.
Oh, I mean, we'll see. I mean, you're going to have keys and everything else, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. But I don't think it'll bust straps. If it is, I'll just leave it behind and I'll put the fucking joint in my pocket. If I see they're checking things like that, you know?
Right.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Won't be the first guy to walk into a fucking Willie Nelson show with a bent joint in my pocket.
Most definitely not.
You know, so yeah. What we got here? I know I really want to do this, you know, online. Good evening, gentlemen. Quick stop. We'll watch the whole stream later. Cool, Matthew Sherman. And Brian's smaller. Hi from New Zealand.
No shit.
Painting the kitchen while listening on a coffee break. That's fucking awesome, man.
I met really good friends from New Zealand playing EverQuest back in 25 years ago. Her character name was Figre. I won't say what her real name is. And she was literally from New Zealand. So I think they're on the other side of the international date line. So, like, technically right now it's tomorrow for them.
Yeah.
Somehow she always ended up playing the same hours as me, which was like after work Eastern time.
It was like your work hours. She was a night shift.
I don't even know what time it was for her. It was like early morning or something. Yeah. And I had traveled down to Baltimore to see a Yankee game down there. And she was in Northern Virginia with her husband on work. And we were just texting each other. Text existed then, but it was rudimentary. But anyway, we ended up hanging out with her and her kids for like an afternoon.
That's cool.
Extremely hungover after that Yankee game.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were wonderful people. And then I met them in the next year. And you know what I ate for the first time? Vegemite. You know what the fuck Vegemite is?
It was in the song.
It was in the Man at Work song.
The Man at Work
Vegemite
song.
Sandwich. Yeah.
I don't know. Was that a real thing?
So she brought Vegemite. I was at my friend's.
What the fuck is Vegemite? Maybe a kangaroo.
I'll tell you.
Kangaroo meat.
So I was at Dwayne's house and he was doing a fish fry. Now, mind you, we're in St. Louis, not St. Louis, but outside St. Louis, Missouri. You know, middle America.
Yeah.
You know, awesome people. And we're having a fish fry, and she brings a loaf of bread and Vegemite. I'm like, that's the shit from the song. She goes, yes, that's the shit from the song because that's how Americans knows. Yeah, that's how Americans know it.
And shrimp on the Barbie.
Exactly.
They all hate it when Americans say shrimp on the Barbie.
Well, that's Australian. This is New Zealand.
Same fucking thing.
Sort of. That's like Connecticut, Rhode Island. So anyway, it's like a spread. It's like
mayonnaise.
It comes in. No. It's dark. It's almost like it looks like. Remember, like we get that apple butter when we were kids.
Yeah.
The same color, like a brown color,
like
but it didn't taste like apple butter. It had a million different like sort of vegetable ingredients made into a paste, and it was a paste, and you put it on bread with butter or whatever. And I can guess you could acquire a taste for it if you don't grow up with it, but I also would say if you grow up with it, you'd probably dig it. It's good shit.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So Vegemite, the New Zealand people, they're
probably
really cool.
Sell that shit at Whole Foods. I bet.
I check out. See if the New Zealand guys got anything to say about
Vegemite.
What the fuck is it actually?
Yeah. And Matthew Sherman is in my ShireCon game. Nice. I just got to write the motherfucking thing. Tim, if you're still here, the ShireCon game that I'm running is the thing we did about a year and a half ago, and wrote. But that I said, hey, I'm going to take the lead on writing this. I never fucking did. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be running. So I got to write that shit up beforehand. We got the structure of it. We know what it's going to be. So Matthew Sherman, do not go back to the old video and watch that shit. You know, I met a dude from Australia once. I was on the Raymond Feist message board. Remember that thing?
Yeah, he's a
in the mid-90s, even 90s, because he insulted you.
Yeah,
so I was on the message board, and there was this dude, in the late 90s, I guess. And this dude was on there from Australia, and it turned out I got a job where I had to go to Ohio for training. after law school, and that guy was going to be in Ohio the same week for some other. He was a professor in Australia. I'm like, dude, we got to fucking get together, hook up, and everything, you know.
Hook up?
Yeah, hook up.
Oh, that's awesome, Jeff.
Yeah. So we went to a CD motel, hooked up. No, but it was cool to meet him and talk to him and shit like that. You know what I wonder too? This brings to mind. I was thinking about this earlier today. When the fuck is the Ray Feist first 4 books going to be made into a movie?
Never.
For fuck's sake.
Never.
I remember he said he had sold the rights or he was in negotiation for it. You know, I got to piss. Keep talking.
Yeah, you know, it's funny you say that because a couple years ago, 3 to be exact, it was summer of 2022, I decided I was in between books and I was like, what do I want to read? And I was like, you know what? Let me go back and read shit that I thought was badass as a kid. So I was traveling a lot to like baseball tournaments with one of my boys. And I'm like, you know, I got a lot of driving to do. And when I'm sitting at the games, when my son's not at bat, I'm just like, all right, whatever. So I actually downloaded the audiobook of Magician Apprentice, Magician Master, Silverthorn, and then Darkness at Sethanon. And I listened to them audiobook, and it was a good production. It was really good, well-produced audiobook. And the more I read it, and I knew this when I was young, but it didn't anger me as much as anger me. It was such a fucking Tolkien copy. Oh, and I don't mean inspired by Tolkien. I mean fucking copied. I mean, not everything. Of course, there was themes that had nothing to do with Tolkien. The Valeru, but the Valeru was one of the greatest ideas in a fantasy. Dragon
it was
Lords,
based in Law and Chaos, like the old original D&D.
Exactly.
2 alignments.
But like the cool thing I loved about it was like there was something here before the gods that the gods are afraid of and the gods couldn't kill. And that concept was really cool. And the fact that these guys wrote on dragons is awesome. But anyway, as I listened to those 4 books, I realized there's some good shit in there, but they could never make it into a movie because there's too much not good shit in there. They'd have to really...
The dialogue would never sustain.
That's what I'm saying.
Because his books are written for 15-year-old boys.
And it was great at 15.
15-year-old boys love that shit.
That's my point. If you write that, you'd have to have it in the same vein as Fast and the Furious to keep that fucking crowd, you know? So I don't think they'll ever make that into, you know, and then I considered going back and reading the David Eddings books.
Oh,
but
they're
I couldn't bring myself to.
No, they're worse.
Even without reading them, that's even made for younger kids, you know, even after not reading them for like 30 years.
You know what's the biggest copy of Tolkien, though, was the fucking Shannara books.
Shannara books,
Jesus Christ. And then he just kept rewriting the same goddamn book.
Yeah, that
over and over.
There was like a weird 7-foot-tall druid named Alanon.
Yeah, I hated that because all he could do was shoot blue energy out of his hands.
Blue flame out of his hands.
And then every time he did, he aged a year. It's like, you're a useless fucking druid. Who wants to aspire to be cool like you?
Yeah.
When you got to live in a hibernation
and dying and then coming back, and it was shit.
It's garbage. It's garbage. Fuck Alanon. Fuck the whole concept.
But listen, all right, a perfect example is George R. R. Martin.
His dialogue you could use.
Now, outside of, you know, copying his naming conventions of J.R.R. versus George R.R., you know, outside of that, he did not copy Tolkien at all. But it was impossible to not be influenced by him.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll admit, but being influenced by and copying directly is way different. Yeah. I mean, in many ways,
everybody has to copy Tolkien and writing fantasy books. There's no way around it.
Yeah. Well, it's not even copying Tolkien. It's copying those archetypes and things that we grew up with that are times, the same archetypes that you read in the Odyssey and the Iliad and in Gilgamesh and every other hero's journey story.
Yep.
You know, those are the archetypes. And but there's too much direct copying for my taste. I was going to say that I can't bring myself to say it because to me, no one will ever top Tolkien. But in certain ways, George R. R. Martin did a better job describing hard things versus soft things. Like Tolkien had a soft magic. Well, Tolkien had a soft magic system. Everything about it was
funny. We're talking Tolkien. I brought the pipe out again.
Yeah, exactly.
I was smoking the other bowl for a while. Now I got the pipe.
Everything's nuanced and soft. There's no rules about magic.
Yeah.
There's nothing speaking to economics. Like, how the hell does Rivendell survive without any commerce? Are they growing all their food? Are they killing
Think about the inn. Did the halflings pay for their fucking beers?
It's never addressed, right? Yeah. Whereas George R. R. Martin gets super granular with that kind of
shit. But Gandalf or somebody did say that if Bilbo didn't realize he had his mithril vest was worth everything in the Shire.
Combined.
That combines, that implies a currency. And the dragon was sitting on coins. It implies
it
it's
implies
used for trade.
currency, but like, what was Frodo's job? He didn't have a job.
No,
he was
he was a gentleman who Sam worked for.
And Sam's job was to tend his garden.
Yeah.
But was it a vegetable garden that he got food from, or just flowers? And even worse, at least Sam had a job. You can imply he was making some sort of money from it. What did Merry and Pippin do? These were effectively like halfling lords in a sense, because they were sons of prominent family.
Were they?
Yeah.
So they were the rich pothead kids.
They were basically the rich spoiled kids.
Yeah.
You know, but anyway, George R. R. Martin does a great job of detailing the mundane things of the world that you and I would develop as part of a campaign.
Yes.
Whereas Tolkien left it out there. There's a great YouTuber, In Deep Geek, that I listen to. He's one of my good Tolkien guys, but he doesn't cover Tolkien. He covers Song of Ice and Fire. He covers The Witcher and other shit. And part of why I like him is because he's in depth. Part of why I like him is his voice. So right before bed, I listen to that shit. But anyway, he does a really, really good job, not criticizing, but saying, like, what was Aragorn's economy like? And he'll do 15 minutes on what the economy of Gondor could have been during Aragorn's reign. Okay. And it's pure supposition and pure
extrapolating from
theory
the book.
crafting. Yeah. And he's taking whatever his facts are from the book, and he's trying to figure out what it could be like. And he does a really good job of that shit. Better than Tolkien.
I think the weed is hitting me along with the rum, because that fire, that log right there on the left, looks like either an alligator head or a frog. You see the legs on the bottom there? It could look like frog legs a little bit. So yeah, this is good. The weed and the you guys can see this shit.
Yeah.
Doesn't it look like a frog?
That reminds me of something.
Yeah.
So I had to go to fucking Nebraska this week for work.
The most boring. No offense to the three Nebraskans.
To the Cornhuskers.
Yeah, but my God.
So I've flown over Nebraska 100 fucking times.
Nothing.
So I had a client of someone I'm on my team in Lincoln, Nebraska, home of the Cornhuskers. So I was right next to campus. I woke up listening to the marching band, which is kind of cool, in my hotel. Anyway, we're at this meeting with a bank, a big bank, one of the bigger regional banks in that neck of the woods. And we're sitting there eating lunch, and the topic of, like, I don't even know how it came up. Hunting came up, duck hunting, and then one lady goes, we're going frog hunting.
What?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I did. You had your pipe in your mouth. You said, what? I had my fucking sandwich in my mouth. I had my, what? You're going frog hunting? I'm like,
the fuck is that even?
And I'm like looking at her, and she's looking at, and there's just a lady who's like 60 years old. And I'm looking at her like, you're going frog hunting?
Yeah.
She says, yeah. And I'm like, is there weaponry involved? Like, what are you hunting a frog with? She's like, all right, it's back.
Sorry guys, we're back.
Yeah. So we're talking about the lady who said she was going frog hunting, and I was wondering, like, what kind of weaponry they use, you know, and then we got into a little bit more. Now, mind you, this is like an executive in a bank, 60 years old ish, ballpark, and she goes, guilty pleasure. She's like, sometimes we'll catch the frogs, we'll throw them up and hit them with a baseball bat.
What the fuck?
And I'm like, I was fucking stunned.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, you realize that's a fucking Beavis and Butt episode? Beavis and Butthead, back before they had their own show, they were on that liquid television on MTV at like, it was like 12:30 at night on a Sunday night into Monday. And that liquid television came out, and Beavis and Butthead behind it. Their first episode, they were like frog baseball, and and we got a 60-year-old lady telling me that she hunts frogs, hits them with a bat.
You got a bunch of comments here.
Isn't the guy from
let's see. Best
did he
books,
describe Vegemite?
Matt loves the McCamey books. Matt Jackson.
Oh, they were great.
Here, finally. Yeah. Best book read recently is Glenn Cook. Black Company. That's a great series. It got a little fucking long, The Black Company. Matt says he read it a few times, couldn't get into it. The first few books were good. Of The Black Company.
A friend of mine told me about it.
They were good. And then it just got long because, you know, you think you kill the bad guy and he coming back as a different incarnation. I'm like, oh, this never ends then. Yeah. So fuck you.
Hey, did the Kiwi say what was in Vegemite?
No, he didn't. Let's see. Are you really complaining about Aragorn's tax policies? Says Raptor 7. Starting off weird, but really took off and was great. Says Matthew Sherman. Oh yeah, then when I get us some some smokes and a beer and walk back into Tolkien discussion.
I wasn't complaining about it.
Yeah.
Text browser. I was describing what that guy's video was.
Oh my God, you two worries about the economics of the Shire. Major Rob vibes, Joe. Sorry. That's true. I call them the corn shuckers.
Who said that?
Matt Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Call them the corn shuckers, says Death Angels. Let's see. What does that say? Burning one in solidarity, brothers. Yes, Charlie. Chris Young, thank you. That is a frog. Right, it is a frog. I got to tell you, it's like a fucking frog. The legs and the head and everything like that. It's not just me being stoned here and a little drunk. I'm a Gators fan, living in Vols land. Those Vols land. Precariously close to Bulldogs.
The Vols are the Tennessee Volunteers.
Oh, okay. I don't know sports. You do. Chris Young, use a spotlight. No, good Gators, live in Jackson, Florida. Go Gators. Okay, Matthew Sherman, go Gators. Okay. You're talking sports references. I'm just out. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm thinking you're talking to D&D Monster or something. So, I mean, yeah. Does the pipe bowl get fucking hot in your hand?
Oh yeah.
Damn, man.
That's when I stopped. I was like,
I can see why.
Not worth
like
scalding
in books,
myself.
They heated their hand on the pipe bowl or something.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. I mean, I didn't realize this thing gets so fucking hot like this.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. It's got kind of hot, really. Yeah, kind of neat though. Kind of neat.
The tobacco smells so good.
Right. Yeah, I got the cherry smell one, so yeah, I kind of
dig
this.
To take something that's natural and you put
good.
some kind of artificial fucking
good.
calorific sweetener into it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's no calories in tobacco, I don't think, right? Because you don't inhale it, so
Whatever the fuck that cherry scent is, if it's not calorific, it's cancerous.
Oh yeah, well, who knows? Like tobacco is safe in any case.
Yeah, well, that's why I don't inhale.
I mean, shit. Gotta say though, I like a pipe a little bit better than I like a cigar a little better than a pipe. It's less maintenance.
It's a lot of work.
This is a lot of work. This is a ritual. Like I started watching this dude. You said you found him a long time ago.
Yeah.
Malcolm Gladwell or Malcolm something like that. And it just Google on YouTube. Look on YouTube searches. Type in, not right now because you're watching my show, but later on, Malcolm, Pipe, and Tolkien, and you'll see this fucking guy. He's a retired professor. I did a Google deep search on this character, see what the hell he's all about. He's a retired professor or something in England, and he lives in a little fucking house, and he sits in his study surrounded by stacks of books everywhere, and he smokes a pipe, and he talks about poetry or Tolkien or Beowulf or whatever the cool thing of the week is. He's a total nerd. He sits there smoking his pipe, drinking some scotch, and just talking with his accent. And he's like, this is like one of my new go-tos to go to sleep at night.
It's basically ASMR without trying.
And he's so chill. This fucking guy is so chill, And he's just an old fucking dude with a vest and an old T-shirt. And he pulls his little pipe thing or his lighter out of his vest pocket, and it's like, God damn, man, he is the embodiment of like a Tolkien hobbit. You know? Mm-hmm.
It's unintentional ASMR. You don't even realize it.
No, it's interesting as shit too.
Yeah, I enjoy listening to that
because he's a genuine professor, so he knows his shit.
Yep.
So he's interesting. He does 10, 15, 20-minute videos. So he'll tell you about smog. We did a 3-part series on Tom Bombadil. See that one?
No.
That was pretty good. 3 parts on Tom Bombadil.
I get so frustrated with the topic of Tom Bombadil that I avoid it.
Why?
Because it doesn't fit.
What?
Tolkien's never ever admitted who and what the fuck he is.
I never will. At this point,
Not
right?
at this point. But there's no in any of his letters, which I've read, in any of the ancillary books that Christopher Tolkien has compiled based on his notes, there's no answer to him.
What has he said about it? What has he said? So
he literally says he doesn't know.
Like, fucker, really?
Yeah, I mean, in not so many words, but kind of sort of in that many words,
That would bug the shit out of me.
Well, like, he wrote Tom Bombadil separate from Tolkien. He just wrote stories about him. And
really?
Songs and...
There's other Tom Bombadil stories?
Well, not... In other words, he wrote it without the intention of putting it in, and then he put it in.
Yeah, okay.
So he never really determined. So you've got a bunch of people out there theory crafting about what he is. And there's really only one real answer that's possible, in my opinion. But that doesn't mean... Well, like in the Silmarillion...
The manifestation of the God who created everything?
No.
That's
not
my
at all.
thought.
That's not. That can't be. It would be mentioned elsewhere, and Tolkien will not say, I don't know. But even if Tolkien doesn't know, there's only a limited number of facts that can support any actual theory. And one of the facts is when Arda was created, that's the world. Yeah. Eru, Iluvatar, the one real God, sent spirits down into it.
We're getting deep here, guys.
Not really. He sent spirits down into it.
Yeah.
and some of those spirits were the Valar and the Maiar, but some were not. One of them in particular is Ungoliant, the giant spider
yeah.
But like, if you've got Ungoliant, that's
what
was
the spirit of Ungoliant before the fucking creation of the world?
No, something that lived in.
All right.
But my point is
in Shadowland or whatever.
No, in wherever Eru lives, heaven, I guess, for lack of a better word. Yeah. So my point is, if he's sending spirits into Arda, and some of them aren't Valar or Maiar, like Ungoliant, one could assume that Tom Bombadil was one of those spirits. So he's a spirit from the outside of the world. He's not a Valar, not a Maiar. So he's just a spirit that was conceived by Iluvatar, and he has really no real purpose other than hanging out singing like an idiot.
I thought he was. I don't know. I kind of got the vibe that he was the thing. One of the. Remember when in the Silmarillion, I'm always stuck with this, that he created the world through song.
Yeah, right? Which is amazing. And such an awesome concept.
And on like a spiritual level, as I got older, I got into all that kind of stuff. I realized that vibration is the source of all creation, right? So you realize song is vibration, right? So he sung the world through vibration.
Knew this shit inherently.
Inherently, somehow he was an old soul. Yep. Yeah, he was like a fucking Buddha.
He was a descendant of Atlantis.
Yeah, something. So anyway, he's got into that big time.
Yep.
And then the evil one, Morgoth, right?
Yep.
Sang a counter song to fuck him over and try to create his own aspect of the creation, which became the world or whatever.
He couldn't, though.
But then he did some shit that Eru then sang a counter song to that to counter it.
Well, no, Eru didn't sing. The Valar and the Maiar sang. The Ainur sang.
But they countered it, right?
Yeah.
I thought he added some fucking words
to
the song or something.
He would just cut it off from time to time and then start it again.
Okay. But the point is, I think that the Ainar's version was a creation of the Hobbits to counter all the evil that was going on. And I think it was also a creation of some level of Tom Bombadil.
Well, they don't. So the Hobbits. So there's a lot of theories about this, and my third YouTube video that I plan on doing is going to be on.
Yeah, I believe the channel when I see it.
Well, you know me. If I do it, I'll become obsessed, which is why I haven't started yet. Anyway, the song. And this is documented. This is not my theory crafting. There was like 3 choruses basically, and the third one was allegedly ended before the Dominion of Men, and the Dominion of Men officially begins in the 4th Age, which would mean if there's 3 songs, in my eyes, they represent the 3 ages. Yeah, but that's a very simplistic way to look at it because there was ages before the 3 ages, the year of the trees and stuff. But the song. I think what you're referring to, and you mentioned this before, is when Aule, the smith, and his wife Yavanna, Aule created the dwarves, and Yavanna wanted some sort of like counter. And I think one time you alluded to the fact that was like hobbits, but it wasn't. It was the Ents. It was the Ents that she wanted created so they could defend themselves.
I thought that Eru actually took part and sang a song to counter Morgoth at some point.
He did not. The Valar countered him. Now, it wasn't just Morgoth. It was what would someday become the Balrogs, the other Ainur, the Maiar that become Balrogs that sang with him.
Raven's got a theory. Raven says Tom Bombadil is the manifestation of nature, like Old Man River, and as Chris Young says.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's one of the many theory crafts out there. But like, what is the manifestation of nature if Eru didn't create it and send it there? So he's still, at the end of the day, a spirit that Eru sent there. Because nothing exists without Eru's consent or creation. Eru's the only one that can create life. And therefore, if it exists, he created it. And if it came from the spirit world, it is a spirit from there. So ultimately, whatever he did in Arda, he was still a spirit sent by Eru.
Yeah, you sound like an evangelist. Whatever it is, God created it. Well, I mean, it's really what it comes down to, what you're saying.
It's not my belief. It's what I believe he believes.
Yeah. I don't know. Who the fuck knows?
Tolkien doesn't know. He came right out and said it. So,
asshole, you don't do that.
Yeah.
Come on, Tolkien. I mean, some fantastic elements of it. I get that. He never put it in the movie either. Steve Jackson, was it?
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson.
Do you know I signed a petition when I heard in 1999 that they were going to eliminate Tom Bombadil from it? I signed a petition. There was like 80,000 people by the time I signed it to say, fuck you, you have to include him. Because I loved his character.
Yeah.
In retrospect, of course you can't fucking include that shit.
You should have had it as a bonus feature on the DVD.
And you should add it where like you have to smoke weed in order to even obtain that chapter.
Yeah.
Because like
you gotta verify.
You need to be fucked up if you're gonna listen to that guy wackadoo sing songs all day. You know?
Yeah. That's pretty good. Listen, I think on that note, it's what is it 10? It
is. We've been going an hour and 40 minutes.
Hour 40, guys.
Went by fast.
Yeah. It looks like some people are phasing out here too. We got a couple less than what we had there. We're still doing pretty good in terms of the viewers, though. We got 18 on YouTube, 2 over on Rumble. We've had up to 6 on X. We got 1 over on Twitch, and I don't know what it says on Facebook. I don't know if I actually can see if anybody is watching because it always shows 0. I don't think I've ever seen a number. So I think maybe Facebook doesn't transmit if anybody is watching.
Sometimes 0 means 0.
Yeah, sometimes, but who knows? It might be some people watching at some point. I don't know. So who knows? I'll do a little research on that. But I think we should probably wrap it up there. It's 10 o'clock and 10 minutes. Fire's going good. We'll sit here a little bit longer, guys. But it's been fun. I think you're going to see more of these now that the fall is here because we got time in the weekends, and this and that. It'd be nice and cool.
Weather permitting.
This has been brutal. This goddamn summer's been brutal. My electric bill's been out of control. So yeah. But anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Much appreciated. Going to end the stream now, and feel free to throw comments in there, like, subscribe, share it around, tell everybody how cool I am, and tell them to fucking subscribe. As we leave, Decado says they made the right choice cutting Bombido from the movie. I agree in retrospect, but goddamn it, they should have had it as a special appendix at the end. A special video. Bring him in. It's not stopping Peter Jackson doing it. They can DH everybody video and bring him back in.
Well,
for
they're making another movie, right?
Another Lord of the Rings.
The Hunt for Gollum.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, but
different actors.
I don't get me going. That's another 20 minutes.
That's another. You want to go. Next video, we will hear him rant about the Hunt for Gollum. So. In any case, guys, thanks very much for watching. Take it easy, and we'll see you next time. No date. We don't know what date because it's dependent on...
I just finally saw the frog.
Schedules, right? No, the frog is gone. You crush it with your
now
log.
I see another one on top.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, so my secondhand weed smoke is hitting you, I see.
I have an edible in me.
Nice. Oh, yeah? All right, nice. All right, take it easy, everybody. Well, we're going to look at frogs here in the